It says, those who desire to be rich fall into temptation and a snare into which many foolish and harmful lusts, which drown men. That's the world today. Drown men in destruction and perdition. St. Paul is not saying, we need money for the church, or we need to collect for the poor. And he's not saying any of that stuff. He's saying, people, I'm trying to help you because I see people out there drowning. And that's the same message here. And that gets us to our truth for today. We're two lies and a truth today. Here's our truth for today. Without margin, I'm not an owner of my money. I'm a slave to it. Without margin, I'm not an owner of my money. You may think you're an owner because it's in your pocket, but you're not an owner. You're a slave. What does a slave mean? A slave means someone who says, I want this, but I can't have that. I'm not allowed to have that. I can't make that decision on my own. I want this, but I can't. How many of us, that's what we say? I want my kids to go to that school, but I can't. I want to move out of my parents' house, but I can't. I want to quit my job, follow my dreams, start that thing, but I can't. I can't do anything that I want. Like how many of us, let's be honest with yourself. How many of us today are slaves to poor financial decisions that we made in the past, where our bills and our credit card payments or our car payments are the ones who control our lives? Like some of us treat car payments like it's a pet. It just goes with us from one house to the other. Everywhere we go, here's our car payment. We get a new car. Like every time it's just a car payment. It just follows us around. We're not owners. We're not masters. We're slaves. We want to take a chance. We want to follow our dream. We want to fund our kids' dream. But we can't. Why? Because we bought that new pair of boots. But it was 30% off. Okay, that's great. Or we bought that car that we didn't need to buy that car, or we needed that addition to our house, or whatever it may be. And I'm telling you that those things are costing you more than you may realize. They're costing you a chance to be a master as opposed to a slave. And again, if that's your problem at $50,000 a year, if it would be the same problem at 60, 70, 80, 100, $200,000 a year, because it's a mindset more than it is an income thing. And you know what? It's not just financially, it's emotionally too. You know, in Matthew chapter 6, the passage we looked at a couple weeks ago, Jesus talked about how don't worry about your food. Don't worry about clothing. Don't worry about things in this world. Don't worry. Don't be anxious for any of those things. And we're like, welcome to the 21st century, Jesus. Of course we worry about those things. Like we look at things like that, we don't even consider. And the answer to that, my response to you, if I had no margin in my life, the way you have no margin in your life, I would be very stressed out as well. You have absolutely every right to be stressed because of the way you're living your life. Because if the income and the spending is just like that, there's no way you're gonna be able to follow that commandment. There's no way you're gonna be able to have the peace of God which surpasses all understanding. There's no way you're gonna be able to pray and say, give us this day, Lord, our daily bread. There's no way. You're always gonna be stressed. You're always gonna be pressure. My question to you is, why do we do that to ourselves? For what? For a new pair of shoes? Like for the 17th pair of boots? Like that was worth it for the 17th pair? We do that for what? A fancy car? We do that for a bigger yard? Like why do we do that to ourselves? Like is that what brings us joy? Like do you know anyone? Like be honest. Do you know anyone who says my life was miserable? Then I bought a Lexus. There was always tension in my house. Then we built that sunroom addition. Then we got a yard. And then all of a sudden the problems were solved. Do you know anyone who says that? Usually we say the opposite. Why do we fall for that every time? Because this is the first lie. So there's the truth. Without margin, I'm not an owner, I'm a slave. Here's the lie that the world tells us. This is so important. Get this right. Quality of life is correlated to standard of living. That's the lie. That quality of life is correlated to standard of living. That if you raise your standard, you raise your quality. And nothing could be further from the truth. The world tells us, you want a better quality? Raise your standard. You need a better car, then you'll have a better life. You need a bigger house, then you'll have a better life. You need, this shampoo, okay? Like you buy this shampoo and your life will be better. Like the world tells us you need higher standard of living. You need better clothes, better car, better house, better whatever it may be. And then your quality of life will go up. Nothing could be further than the truth. The truth is that the higher your standard goes, the better the quality for the people who are selling you the stuff. Like their quality of life goes up. So they got a vested interest in making you believe this lie. But for us, it ain't true. And I got proof. You want to know where the proof is? Go home and look around. Go look around. We got more stuff than we've ever had. We're living proof. We have never had a higher standard of living. Like, if you're honest, we've never had a higher standard of living than we have right now. We got more stuff. We got bigger houses. We got better cars. The standard of living is as high as it's ever been. But the quality of life, that's up to you. I'll give you another example. Depending on your age right here, think back to, if you're young enough to think back to like your grandparents, okay? But that's a long time ago, some of us is okay, our grandparents, okay, maybe we think back to our parents' generation. Okay, think back. Compare your grandparents, their quality of life to yours, and their standard of living to yours. Think back. Let's start with quality of life. Grandparents, for the most part, obviously I'm generalizing. They lived simple lives, didn't they? Their houses were filled with peace. They were happy. They were content. They weren't always chasing up the corporate ladder. Their houses were filled with love, and just the thought of grandma's house and apple pie or, baklava, like whatever it is that you're from, okay? Like just the thought of grandma's house, okay, just gives you that warm and fuzzy, and you feel good. It's a good quality. Now compare your house to theirs. Compare your standard of living to theirs. Most probably, grandma's house was half the size of your house. Most probably, like our houses, okay, just think about where we park our cars. Okay, you go to some houses that have the 3-car garage. You got to have the 3-car. I don't know how anyone survives without a 3-car garage. I only got 2 cars, but I need a 3-car garage. Versus your grandparents. Probably didn't even have a garage. Like my parents grew up, we didn't have a garage. We had a carport. You don't even know what a carport is? Okay, just basically like an umbrella, okay, where you park your car underneath. That's what our parents had. That's what our grandparents had. Think about the ceiling heights in your grandparents' home versus in the homes that we grew up in now. Our grandparents' home, you had to duck, okay? I don't know why, if society got that much taller, but they had to duck. Now we're like, no, we can't survive with a 10-foot ceiling. We need at least 12-foot ceiling, the cathedral, whatever it may be. Here's another one. Think of the closet in your bedroom. Think of the master bedroom closet. Okay, what you call closet, what I call it's like a mini shopping mall. Okay, you can do your cardio in there every single day. Compared to our grandparents, it was like a little thing. It barely had room for 10 outfits. Think of the doorbell in your grandparents' house. Sometimes I go up to people's houses. Okay, I go visit a lot of people. Like people say, come visit. So I go up and you drive in a big thing and you ring the door. Okay, my house growing up, it was ding dong. Okay, that's the way it went. Ding dong. That's where our house is right now. But some of these, it's like, like, like that. You know what I'm saying? And you feel like, wow, these people, they're really rich. Like even their doorbell says, we are rich. And I'm telling you, I fall for this lie just like you fall for this lie. I ring that doorbell. I see the big thing. I see the garage. And I think to myself, these people must be so happy. These people got it all. And the truth of the matter is, quality of life has nothing to do with standard of living. Our grandparents had half the standard, but double the quality of life. Small house filled with love. And we need to learn from them.